everyone, this is Genesis. I'm back with the continuation of the real-time scripting for rearming AI. So we're taking a look at how to, first things first, how to get AI to rearm their primary weapons. And let me pull up a couple things here. I thought, boop, I had, there we are. Yep, so we have these tasks to take care of, and I'm starting off basic. So what I want to do, ideally, we want them to rearm primary, secondary, and then AT/AA, or /and grab AT and AA. So there's a lot of interactions in there, and this is not all going to come in the first patch. I'm definitely going to see if I can get rearming primary done, because typically AI are in groups of other AI with the same ammo type, and that's going to be the most beneficial. So what I want to do is have this be prioritized, and then this will be second prioritization, and this will be third, and this will be fourth. That's what I'm thinking, and we'll start there. But the first thing I'm going to do is just, can I get them to rearm their weapons? So what we're going to do is go ahead and start the timer here. Go ahead and get that going, and bam. So what I'm thinking is, I already have a script set up. If you look at, whoops, so we're dealing with this first part. How do we get them to trigger, and how do we know when they're low on ammo? So I pull up Vcom AI here, this folder, whoop, and open up the init. I already made a script or a function called rearm self, and inside the functions folder we have Vcom AI rearm self, which is right there, and it's empty, of course. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a function. This function will determine if an AI is low on ammo and needs to rearm. I'm hoping to keep all this in one function. That would be really nice. We're about to find out. So what I'm going to make an assumption here is that we're going to just pass the AI through the script to the script. So in the, I'm thinking this AI behavior new.fsm, on one of these little timed events here that every so often does checks, I'm thinking just every, I would say even every 60 seconds should be good enough. It does a check for the ammo, and it's gonna be something like simply, I think, did I just use units for this? Yeah. Thinking here, every 60 seconds, roughly, it'll do unit, spawn, Vcom AI, rearm self. Okay. And so the AI will all check for ammo. So now if I go back to rearm self, I can go, okay. Now I can see it's scripted. So this script, the script passes this. This should be the AI unit. Okay? Now I was looking at a couple ways to go about this. I have a rough idea in my head. We're going to see how this works. So there is a thing called current magazine. Return this class name of currently loaded vehicles magazine. And it looks like it works on players just fine in AI. So what I'm going to do is just do a double check here. I'm going to do current magazine class cursor object. I'm going to hint that back to me to make sure it's actually pulling something, because you want to test this, because if you design a whole script around this and then it doesn't work, it's useless. Yep, that worked. So what I'm thinking is, in the script, the first thing we want to do is figure out what ammo this unit is using. Alright, current magazine, this. So that will pull the magazine class. And now we want to compare this class name to all the other ammo class names this unit may have and count the number. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is we have the class name now, and now there's another command here that I got on a handy dandy website. I think it was magazines in full. Is that one? Maybe it's just magazines. There's one I think that might be even quicker and more simple. Yeah, this one maybe is runs more efficiently. Let's find out. I'm gonna actually do a test and see which one runs more efficiently. But let's see what this one pulls just out of curiosity. See, this pulls what I want. So this one looks rather simple. But let's see if one command is quicker than the other. And I have a... Actually, I don't think I have it anymore. So I'm going to create my scripts folder. So my scripts folder is a folder I have that is do speed tests. It's just extra little functions, doodads that I use. And they go in my armor 3 root folder and I can execute them when I want. So arma test speed of script. And I can't remember how this works. I think they added a new thing for it. Where is it? Where is it? Okay. There's BizFunk code performance. I thought there was a better one out now. I thought Diag was actually even better. Yeah, this is a recent one. Let's see, what does this do? Oh, this is the engine alternative. This is what I want. That's great. So we're gonna grab this. And I'm gonna open up speed test here. Default example. And what this will do is just see if there's any noticeable difference in the speed that the script that this command gets executed. There most likely will not be, but sometimes there is. And so I'll explain what it does. So I want to see for ammo or magazines. Let's see. Let's grab those magazines. Okay. And here the result, I'm going to do diag code performance, which is the command. And then right here is the code I want to execute. And then the second variable is what now? I don't actually remember that. Arguments, okay, to pass. And then this will just be player. Let's do this. And then this one is how many times should it run the code? Now it won't, if it's still the same way as this BizFunk code and performance, it won't execute all 10,000 times, but once it gets a pretty decent average, it'll stop. So what I want to test is this magazines command. And so if I go back to magazines, I want to see how efficient this command is. And I believe that's how you do it. Let's find out. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to run it here. And then I want to, actually I'll add this here, system chat format, results, one, result. Okay, so now it'll let us know after it runs it. So I'm going to go ahead and run that. Did I do that correctly? Returns 0, 1. So what does 0, 1 mean? That's different than the other one. Let's take a look. It returns the duration, average duration of one execution in milliseconds, and the cycles, the actual number of cycles executed. So apparently this command was so fast it only needed to execute it once, or there was an issue. That's interesting. So what I want to do is, can I put sleeps in this? So just to make sure it's working, I'm going to do magazines this, sleep 2. Magazines this. And it should take roughly, 2 seconds. Let's see. It looks like you cannot have sleeps in this. Well, then we'll do this the old-fashioned way. Oops. Of course. Always remember a semicolon. I'm gonna just add a bunch of these. It should, you would think, run that command over and over again will cause some kind of degradation. I'm just having a hard time believing that. It runs once. And I'm trying to think if there's a function. Okay, I know a function that is very demanding. Find all objects in 1,000 meter radius. I want to make sure that the things I'm using are actually, you know, reliable. An engine one, an engine command is supposed to be more accurate than a function. You'd hope so. So maybe that command is just that fast that it doesn't need anything. So what if I grab, put up one more. I'm going to do nearest objects. And this is a command that can just very difficult on the engine because it just to pull a lot. Okay, nearest objects will do 1,000. And let's see how it handles this. Okay, so it is working. You can see that to pull nearest objects 1,000 has a delay of 268 milliseconds. So this command is so fast it's literally doesn't even pop up. It's only running it once, even though I have it supposed to be running it 10,000 times. Is there a way to force it to do that? Or see, arguments, cycles, optional. 1,000 is okay, greater than 1,000, defaults. Well, default's 100,000. It's interesting that only. For security purposes, this can only run one cycle multiplayer. Well, let's fix that real quick. If I enable the debug console, that will fix it. Let's go ahead and do that. So it seems like if I edit this mission, so this is the things that usually take a lot of time, and maybe people who do this more for a living are much quicker at this than I am. I believe there's a way, is it attributes multiplayer? There's a way to enable the debug respawn tasks 5, which is general. Debug console. Available for everyone. So if I export this, I'm hoping that means that will allow it to do more than one iteration in multiplayer. Because that gives you much more reliable results. Okay, and just to confirm it, there it is. Looks like it's still only doing one. You know what? We're just gonna run with it, and we can kind of see if I just spam click this a little bit. It's roughly 250, so I can see that number is definitely higher. It's working. And this one is this right here. If I take this and I just spam it here. I always find this silly. I understand why Bohemia does this, but here's a workaround. They're worried for security purposes this might crash a server. Well, okay, if I can execute commands then, right? Then I can just do something like this. Well, count equals 0 while count is less than 100. Do And actually, you know what? I'm gonna actually make my own little thing right now just because I find that fun. So we're gonna go up here. Okay. So while the count is less than, we'll do just the test is 100. We'll do at the very end, count equals counts plus 1. So this will return the result. And what we'll do is also create like, so what I want to do is capture all the responses and I want to average them out myself. Because, you know, we'll do array equals, we'll just initiate the array to have it empty. And then array, then we want to add to the array result select 0, so I want to select the time it took to do that. And then I want to do that. Okay, so this will keep looping over and over again, pushing back the array over and over again until it reaches 101, or 100 actually. So do less than or equal to 100. So let's do that, and then what we want to do to get the average is, let's see, total number equals 0 for each array. I'm sure there's a better way to do this. I'm just doing this off the top of my head. Total number equals total number plus x. So that's taking, so what we do here is in the array, that is all the speeds, all the times it took. So we have a giant list of all the times it took to execute the script. And then it's going to add them all together for each of the array. And then once it does that, we're going to do for the average time equals the total number divided by count array. And then we'll do a hint format average time. I think I might have made a mistake in there. Let's see how this goes. If I execute this, this might just break everything. That took me like 5 minutes. Maybe less than that. I don't even know. But now I can execute that command as much as I damn well please. So now what I'll do is just run this locally. Final result 0. Okay, that was 100 runs already. Well, it recommends greater than 10,000, so let's try that. Let's make sure. You can see it's still running. And what I need to do is, so I know it's a different one, is I need to add in. See, I can't tell that it's done. So I'm going to add in diatic time. So I can tell it's a different, it ran at a different time. There it is. So after 100,000 iterations, you can see that it's at 0.0037499996. It's very quick. So we're going to write that down. So this is for Magazine's Player. Alright, so I'm just going to save that here. And I actually like that. I'm actually going to use that now. So we're going to go ahead and take that. And just place that. Because, you know, I always edit multiplayer. I don't go to single player because for me it's just easier. I don't know why. Don't do what I do, kids. Okay. So this result, and I'll save that here. Final result equals 0.003749996. Okay. Now let's find a different way to grab these magazines. There's a newer command that we're looking at called magazines ammo full, which gives us some interesting information too, because this gives us the mag, the amount of ammo. I don't know what this false means, if it's loaded or not, which is awesome. That might be super helpful. And then the magazine type, grenade, primary weapon, handgun mag, secondary weapon mag, and magazine location is vest, uniform, backpack, or corresponding current muzzle. So this is super helpful. This allows us to know a lot of information. So like I could pull their currently loaded weapon, right? So if this is a 1 or 0, I'm sorry. If this is true, then it means it's currently loaded. So I can know what weapon is actively being used. That's awesome. But if this command is too slow, then it probably is not a good idea to do. And it really matters. It really matters. And I'll do a little, you know, test as well. Show you why it matters. So we're gonna go ahead and move this up. See, this is most of the scripts is just getting the background set up. I want to do the proper research. I don't want to dive in and make something that is going to not be at least somewhat feasible. So this is just magazines full. This. Okay. So now, if I execute this again, let's see, let me add, let's grab some more magazines. I know what this is. I'm going to save this. Now if I grab this and execute this one more time, it'll take a little bit longer than the other one. Gotta run around in circles. Probably shouldn't be doing that. And just look at the bottom left. It doesn't seem to be that much worse. Okay. So we can see that it does, which makes sense. It does more. It does take more. So final result is 0.0199898. So a lot of people, when we compare these two side by side, a lot of people are like, okay, what's the big deal? You know, let's pull that up. Like, come on, Dom. Like, that's still less than. That's, look how small of a millisecond that is. I mean, this one's so much faster, but look at this one. Well, where it gets to be a problem is, say, we are Joe Blow mission maker here, and we have, we'll say 316 AI in a mission, which is for some people on the low end. Okay, right? That turns out to be an entire 1.18 seconds of that command needed, which doesn't sound that long either, and that's for the quick one. That's not that long either, but you understand how if that executes that on top of other scripts, the more demanding and a lot more, it just starts to chug the system, because 1 second, 1.18 seconds in ARMA is actually an awful long time. So if you take the other one and say, was it 316? That's a full 6 seconds of delay. That is 5 times worse. Or whatever, I can't do math. But you can see where, this is not that bad when used in singular, but if you have 316 AI executing it, it gets crazy quick. So I'm going to stick with magazines this. Okay, it doesn't give us this cool information, but that's okay. Maybe I can use this for more selected cases later on, so I can reduce the number that it gets called on. We'll figure that out, but we're going to stick with this, because this pulls the information I need. So what I want to do is now go back to rearm self. So now with that information, we can use the magazines. So we're going to go ahead and pull all the mags from the AI. And what we're going to do is do a quick for each mags. Now, so for each of those magazines, I want to count which ones are the same as the current mag. I'm going to change this to current magazine. Okay. Now, if X is equal to, current magazine, then I have total count equals 0. So, and I should probably reduce this. I like to type things out, but you're supposed to have short variable names. Like current magazine should be just CM. That does matter. And that's one of my worst habits. So T underscore TC plus equals TC plus 1. Okay. So that will count for each magazine the total that the unit has. And now we can have if TC is greater than, and up here what we can do, I might make this a variable. So I'm thinking I might make this a variable that mission makers or whatever can change on the fly. So I might do acceptable limit, AL, equals, we'll say, 2. So if the current magazines is greater than, is less than or equal to 2, then execute this script. Okay. So we want to count the total number of mags. Then we want to, if unit has 2 or less, then execute this. Then make the unit find ammo. There. So now we have a function set up. Now I want to test to see if this works. So what I'm going to do is define here. Go to this. Test. Bam. I'm going to take this. That. And I'm going to replace this with cursor object. Cursor object. And what I want to do is system chat format. So I want to make sure it's counting. So I'm going to do some debugging along the way. I'm going to do define. Now let's go to ourselves. AI. Ah, hit the button!
Awaiting orders. Ready for order.
Okay, we got some assistant gunners here. Now I should be able to do spawn Vcom test. Oh, whoopsie. I'm bad. 7. So the counter hit 7 mags. And how about this guy? It's consistent. Now to do the ultimate double check here, remote control. Whoops. Remote control. And we can take a look and say 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. And obviously doesn't count the one he's got loaded in, because I want to see which mags he has in reserve. Okay. I'm happy with that. So if he's got 2 or less than those, he should probably look for ammo. So now, how will he look for ammo? How are we going to know? How are we going to know ammo to find? So I'm thinking of a couple ways I'm going to split this up in. We're going to search for maybe dead bodies. Maybe there's a dead body nearby. And the reason why I'm doing that is usually there's probably going to be some dead bodies around AI in my experience. Maybe, maybe not. And so this is going to be the tricky part. This is the part that's going to be the most demanding. And it needs to be good. It needs to be quick. It needs to be optimized. And I think this is going to use our handy dandy near objects here. So I'm thinking this command might be more efficient. So then now we go back to square 1, speed test. Okay, final objects. Okay, that's cute. I want to find dead bodies. We're going to keep using that. I'm just going to replace this. Find all dead bodies within. Well, let's do what 200 meter radius. That's high. That's high, but I want to see if it works. So I'm going to do this. Nearest objects, and I'm going to see if I put man in here, if it'll just pick up any man right now. I'm going to test that first, so int format, and we're going to have to split this into 2 parts. That's okay. Ah. Oh, because I did this. Derp. Alright, pulls it up. Look at that. So that works. I want to see how demanding this is though. So what we're going to do is, I see this is player right now. Yeah, that's fine. Let's change this to this. And I want to see how demanding it actually is. So let's go ahead and execute that. I'm going to let that run while that's running. What I'm going to do is get the next one set up. There's different ways to do this. Different. There is still going. We'll finish this up and then I will end the video. Is nearest, and then there is obviously nearest objects. So I'm going to want to grab this one. It even has 200 already. How nice. That there. We'll do man again. Still going. 100,000 runs is quite a bit, I think. We'll finish this one up, and we'll see how good the next one is in the next video, which I'm going to be recording back to back, so there shouldn't be too much of a wait. There it is. So with that one running, 100,000 times, yeah, 100,000 times, we got a final result of 0.0396996. Yep, okay. So now we'll see how good the next one is next video. That's pretty freaking heavy on the engine. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.